these up, and then I will just be a minute or so while I'm looking for something to talk about.
Okay.
Regen up. Highlights moving up.
Barrier activated.
نام
Nicely.
أنا هاخد بالي منك. I'm under attack. Walk it off. I will keep you healed.
Alright, so we'll go over some minor things until some bigger things crop up. So here we can look at the situation, and you can look at your health bar, Reinhardt's health bar, and kind of what's going on here with our nade. So when it comes to healing nades, right? You throw healing nades when one, healing is needed, and two, when you are in danger. There's a difference between the two. You can be 1 HP back here and completely safe, and you can be full HP and right here and be very much in danger inside their team. And if you are right here, well, and full HP, well, then nade's not really going to do too much because you're full HP. And if you're all the way back here, it's probably not necessary to nade. So we can look at this circumstance when, we're nading us and Reinhardt, and we go, okay, we're 58, Reinhardt's full HP. Are we both in, and we're nading both of us, okay, are we in danger? Well, I would probably say not really. You're not really, nothing's pressing that you guys are gonna be dying within the next second. And then, are you both low? No, not really. Neither of you go low. Bap is right next to you. He's about to heal you. So in this circumstance, nade doesn't really do
Walk
too
it
much.
off.
Okay.
I will keep you healed.
And then whenever you're not going for heal needs come about, like, when they come when they're needed, they come about like 40% of the time. The rest of the time you should be looking to go for antis.
Nap
Nice
time.
sleep once again.
نتعلم.
Right. There's some audio awareness stuff because Junkrat was walking around behind us for a decent bit and we didn't really seem to hear him. So here, if you see Junkrat launches up into the air, if you we're looking in the top left, he's flying.
Nap time.
He lands on the high ground. If you're keeping your ears open and you're listening now, sorry, I have my sound a little bit low here when I coach. But if we're keeping our ears open, we can hear him. He drops. He's kind of walking right above us here. He's actually about to drop even right on top of us here. He just drops again, and then we're dead. So if we're aware that he's there, that's kind of the first step to not dying, because then we can take steps to actually avoid him. So tips I have for audio awareness. Go to sound settings, master volume, make sure your volume is loud enough. That is very subjective because everybody has different audio settings. I would probably recommend off or down on music volume, as that can clutter with audio. And then also make sure to check, do you have surround sound enabled on your headset? And if it is not enabled, then, or it is not an option, if it's not an option, just with your headset drivers, then you can do the in-game version, which is, where is it at? Dolby Atmos for headphones, on off. Then, besides that, all of those settings could be pretty good, and you can still have pretty garbage audio awareness if you're not actually listening to your surroundings. So you want to make sure that you are actively paying attention and listening for footsteps and gunshots and abilities and ultimates. And then all of that can help to something as simple as, keeping you from dying. So yeah, that'll add up over time.
Get in here.
Okay.
Go. I'll keep you healed. Securing the payload.
Okay. So we say a couple minor things like, we come in, we
I'll keep you
don't
healed.
reload kind of when there's this. Usually it's a good idea to reload when you have a big lull in time when there's not a whole lot going on. So Reinhardt's full HP, no, but you don't need to be shooting anything. Just good time to reload. That way you actually have ammo for when you need it. Then here we go for the
Securing the
nade
payload.
on Reinhardt, but which would honestly be pretty decent. That'd be a decent nade. Yet we just throw it too low, right? Make sure we're giving it an arc, especially like so. Your nade's not even gonna go where your crosshair's at, and our crosshair's below Reinhardt, so our nade's not gonna go anywhere near him. We want to be aiming up, giving it an arc, going up above him and whatnot. That'll just help us
Get
land the
back
nade
in the
there.
fight.
Almost nice sleep, except for Hog hooked him out of it. Okay. Alright, we have a bunch of small things here. We might talk about positioning in a minute. Nade. Um, Not sure like who we're trying to land down here. I think we're maybe trying to hit Hog, but
Yeah.
make sure that you're watching for teammates to jump in the way, right? There's a lot of obstacles for nades. Teammates are super easy. Firstly, you gotta see that they're there, know that they're there, and then once you see that they're there, okay, well now we can walk to the left, walk to the right, we can walk backwards and throw it over, we can walk through him, we can wait for him to move out of the way. We have a lot of options. Just want to make sure we're not throwing it when he's walking in front of us, and then that means that nade actually does stuff instead of getting wasted.
You're going to be okay. You're powered up. Get in there.
So this once again gets into awareness. Is looking like awareness is cropping up a ton here.
Mm.
So when it comes to how do you tell whether or not you've won or lost a fight, primarily that will come down to kill feed. So if you're looking at kill feed, then you will see when you're up or down people, when you are up or down 1 to 2 people, that is an advantage or a disadvantage. In those cases, you can play extra aggressive or more passive. And then when you are up or down 2 to 3 people, well, then in those cases, then it's a won or a lost fight. In won fights, you get extra aggro. In lost fights, you get out if you can. If you can't get out, you let them kill you. And then you also, in neither case, do you use your ultimates. So in this circumstance, where it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 versus a 1, 2, 3, and they have no healing, and Reinhardt's half, and Junkrat's 1 HP. Well, in this, and then we're also just cap point, so their spawns are super far away. In this circumstance, this is like you guys have a 95% chance of winning this fight, right?
Yeah, that was a waste of nano. I see that now.
Yeah. So that comes, you'll be able to save that nano if you're being aware of your surroundings, right? Keeping your eyes open, which we might discuss more on as we go along.
The payload has reached the checkpoint.
Let them up.
And the Bap used his ult even later.
Hello. My ultimate is on.
I have your back.
Behind you. How about a little extra?
It's squad.
Okay. So, um, they kind of drop on top of us. All right, we go for the
It's
sleep.
squad time.
So let me ask you
Heal up.
this question here. If we sleep Reinhardt
Behind you.
right here, and then we immediately walk forwards and nade, then what does this sleep do?
Mm, I guess
Yeah.
nothing, because then I still have Reinhardt coming at me, and he's gonna wake up. So
Yeah. So unless that's interrupting something like an ability or ultimate, then that sort of sleep probably isn't going to do too much. Now, maybe a better idea might be to back away after you sleep. So sleep and then back off and then nade rather than nading super fast. Also, if you see that your teammates not aren't ready to punish him, you'll give your team time to get ready because you have a Hog and a Reinhardt right here. What if you give them Reinhardt time to charge and Hog time to get ready with a headshot and a hook, right, into another headshot. This could be Reinhardt dead versus Reinhardt up and able to shield, right, and then he's coming after you. Um, Additionally, I'd say we're maybe a little far forwards here, kind of sitting on a cart. Maybe you could be sitting further back, somewhere like here, and then that could prevent you from getting like just dive bombed by their tanks. But I wouldn't say that's a major thing as of the moment.
activated.
This will help. It's just a scratch. You'll be
So once again,
fine.
this is the circumstance, so you can probably just normal heal him up. And then it also got intercepted anyways.
Ned,
Nice sleep.
walk it off.
Get in here.
I will keep
all
you
look like you
healed.
needed some healing. Get in the immortality field.
Okay. We're gonna talk some
I will
abilities for a second. So when it comes to your abilities, specifically nade usage, your abilities is a large part of how you have carrying potential and on it. It's how you do enough to secure kills and to get things done. So, I'd recommend putting a little bit more effort into how you're using your ability, specifically, again, nade. And the thing I'd recommend is go for more aggressive anti-nades. As anti-nades, when you land a 4, 5, 6-man anti-nade, which isn't going to happen every time, but when you do land those sorts of nades, in a lot of cases, that can be even more powerful than your nano boost, and that's an ability on a cooldown. So make sure that you're looking to go for antis more often. Now we have been going for antis once in a while. I'd say maybe at the moment we're going for maybe like, I don't know, 40% anti-nades, and then when we do go for anti-nades, it's usually on like single Reinhardt, right? And in those cases, you can be thinking to yourself, okay, well, if we're comparing the value of getting one anti on one Reinhardt versus getting two people, well, now we've just doubled the value. That's it, it's just quite literally 2 times the value. Get 3 people in it, well, now that might even be like 4 times the value. It's not just because you get a little bit more of a extra bonus the more people you get, because now nobody can heal, and that gives your team an extra advantage. So if you're getting 3 people versus one single Reinhardt, well, now you've just gotten like 3.5 to 4 times the value as in comparison to the first one, right? And then once again, that ramps up 4, 5, 6-man anti-nades. Now, 6-man anti-nades aren't going to be coming all the time, but when you are start watching for it, you'll start to notice that 3-man anti-nades are actually very doable regularly, if you're paying attention and you're watching for it. Now, part of that is going to be actually looking for more anti-nades more aggressively, throwing them more often, but then also waiting for them to group up. You'll notice that throughout a fight, the enemy team is going to kind of be like a blob where they'll expand and then contrast, right? And then can expand and then contract, and then they'll just kind of go in and out as the fight progresses, and you're waiting for them to group up, and that's when you're nading. So here, you'll notice just right there, right, these 3 guys grouped up. Nade right in the middle, 3-man anti-nade. Right, we wait for a second. Oh, right there, 4-man anti-nade, right? If we're watching for it and we're ready for it and we're just waiting for it. I'm just, and not to say you're in position right now, but I'm just showing you examples. Still a 4-man, right?
This will
Still a
heal.
4-man, still a
In
4-man,
the desert?
still a 4-man. Okay, I mean, probably can get 2 different 2-mans, 3-man right there, right in the middle, right? Now they're a little bit expanding. Now they grouped up again. There's another 3-man. If you're once again if you're looking for it, Reiner backs up. Maybe if you land that perfectly, that's a 4-man, right? So you can see how throughout the fight they'll kind of expand. In this one, they're actually more grouped up than in a lot of fights. They're actually, you'll see a lot of them now. Now they're a little bit more spread out, right? So they'll kind of throughout the fight go, spread out, come back in. And that's just going to be a regular pattern that repeats itself, and you want to look
Feeling
for the
sleepy?
more for when they group up, so that we can land
Someone
nades
get
and
that
then
payload
get
moving.
a lot of value out of that. So I've been rambling on for a little bit. Does that all make sense? Any questions on that?
No, it does. I just see I do got to go for more offensive nades and defensive nades. It will turn a fight a lot easier.
Yeah.
In the desert?
And
This will help.
like we've said, they do have their times and places, right? Like it just will depend on, like, is nade actually needed? Like here, Hog's 1 HP, critical. I mean, maybe nade's actually is needed there.
This will help. أنا هاخد بالي منك. Someone get that payload moving. You're powered up. Get in there. Feeling sleepy?
Reinhardt is not noticing the fact that he got nano boosted. All right. Sorry, it's just funny sometimes to see
Take
that.
your medicine.
Let them out.
Go to sleep. In the desert, the cheap.
Let's get the payload moving again, yeah?
You're covered.
Get in here!
Cheetah lived for 3 years, and the camel lived for
Get
an hour.
inside! My friend! Horse and Crusaders!
This will help.
Massive. We rush the nade though. Right. Watch. We land the massive shatter. We decide we don't really
Ah,
take much time to land it. You have an extra second before they actually wake up. Line it up. Make sure it goes in. Like if we land this right, that's a 3-man anti-nade, right? We can throw it up against the wall. We can throw it on the floor right here. That hits everybody, right? This probably maybe no. I think that's probably a 3-man. So yeah, just put extra effort, extra time into it. Another tip I'd say is don't rush your nades, right? When it comes to, let's go over a couple things with it. Don't rush them. Put effort and thought into them. So when you're looking for your nades, you don't want to go
Never stop.
like this,
still.
where you come into a fight and you're going pew 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 nade, pew 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 sleep. Right? That's not how your brain wants to be functioning during the fight. In fact, like the
need
autopilot
that
in a lot of
brain.
cases can be a little bit more on the aim, unless you're working on your aim in particular. You can be going, okay, pew pew pew. Okay, I have my nade. What am I doing with it? All right, I see the opportunity. I'm lining up the opportunity. I'm throwing it. Right? You're thinking about it for a good 4 or 5 seconds, sometimes even longer than that, where you're waiting for it and lining it up. We can be doing that even while it's on cooldown. So we can have it on cooldown
This
and go,
is
okay,
going
it's
to
on
hurt.
10 seconds. I'm going to go pew, pew, pew. Okay, I'm going to start looking for it now. I'm waiting for them to group
Enemy
up.
down.
I'm getting in position for it. I'm lining it up, right? Pew, pew, shoot, shoot. Throw it in as soon as it
The
comes
pain
off
is
cooldown.
coming.
Right, it gets it out there more frequently. And also, it's going to mean that we're putting more effort and thought into how it's getting put out. Other additional things, make sure we're not trying to throw it at people. If you try to throw it at someone and I miss
This
it,
will
oh,
only hurt for a
it
minute.
got sucked in. Whoops. If you miss, well then it goes sailing past them. Right? Same thing with sleep. If we miss, I mean, not same thing with sleep. Sorry, incorrect statement. You go for the nade, it misses, goes sailing past them. But if you aim at the floor, well then it has this giant radius, and you're much less likely to miss. Also, it stops people from body blocking it. Right? If you're hitting it at the floor in between people.
Age and beauty.
Okay.
I have you on both.
Another thing, this only works if you are scoped in, and this is a scope tech. So you scope in, you take your ultimate charge, and you line that up with an enemy, and you press E, and then that nade is going to hit them from any height or any range that you're at. Okay. Same thing. Now they're on a little bit more even footing with us, and it's our Q, so it's our Q now, not since they're a little bit below us as well. We press E,
The
nade hits
pain
them
is
again.
coming.
neat.
Bedtime is Zayek.
Yep. All right. I think that I'm trying to think. Let's talk positioning. So I've seen a couple times where we kind of seem to drift into poor positioning. So let's discuss it real quick. So when it comes to positioning, good. If we're standing right here, right, and the enemy team is all over here, and they're all shooting at us, looking at us, it takes us 1, 2, 3 seconds to get behind the corner. Now from here you cannot get shot at, you're completely safe, but in that time it took us to walk here, we just died. So therefore, but from here we can do pretty much everything, right? We can do everything we were just able to do. And then therefore,
Enemy
good
double
positioning is the usage of cover. Whereas bad positioning is the absence of cover, right? With cover, we can go like this instantly. It takes us half a second, which is 6 times faster than when it took us previously over there. So we just want to make sure we're using cover, and the cover's all over the place. You have slopes like so. You have corners that do the same thing when you're reloading, when you're taking damage, when you're in between your shots, stuff like that. Pillars do the same thing. Okay, coming up here, you have random objects, like the payload can do this. Pillar, corner, doorway, corner, right? All over the place, and you just want to make sure you're looking to use it.
This is going to hurt. Double kill.
Sorry, one more thing, and then we'll head back into it. Okay.
Hello there.
When it comes to landing your
Hello.
nades, you have a lot of
Hello there.
obstacles. As you've seen, you've had a bunch of teammates get in front of your nades, and that's not very good
You're
because
covered.
then even if we're throwing them aggressively, they're gonna end up hitting something, and that's not what we want to be happening. So, we already discussed how to get around teammates, but you also have shields and tanking abilities. So with shields and tanking abilities, you have a lot of options. Once again, you can wait for them to go down. You can, or time for them to go down. You can wait for them to break. You can wait for them to die. You can throw it at people around the shield. You
This is
can
going to
go
hurt.
to the left of the shield, right of the shield, over the shield, under the shield. You have really have a lot of options. You can wait for your teammates to do something that could make you space.
I will
So
keep
you just
you
want to be
here.
thinking about ways that you can do it. But even if you are thinking through it, it's a lot of things to think through, right? It becomes difficult. So if the enemy team's there, our team's here, there's just all the stuff in our way, right? And it's, yes, we could land a nade, but it's just a lot of things to try to get through, so it's less likely to actually make it through. But an easy way to get past all of that is to just go boop. Now we just instantly get around teammates, shields, abilities, and the enemy tanks instantly straight into their backline, right? And that is what you call an off angle in opposition to the main angle. Another example of this:
Hello.
enemy team, our team, main angle. Come back here, we heal up, heal, heal, heal. Okay, we're up on the high ground, instantly past everything, right? Shields, tanking abilities, everything, straight to the back line. Very easy nade.
Feeling sleepy?
And then all high grounds act as off angles as long as we're above them. Not as much when they're like all the way over here, because they can still shield you and whatnot. And yeah, and then those will be around maybe like 40% of the time or so.
Traveling to Hanamura. Ready for battle.
Wait a moment, that's not it.
You know.
Welcome
There we
to
go.
Rialto. Ready for battle.
Let them out.
Do something!
وريهم قوت. Oh, it's approaching the payload. Healing in a...
Group up. Group up here. Group up. Fully healed. Get behind.
The payload has reached the checkpoint.
Watching your back.
Okay, so for example here, notice how, I mean, they're not peeking us at the moment. They could very easily peek us at the moment. You just notice how we're in kind of a lack of cover when we could be doing the exact same thing from here, from behind cart, from here. We could be doing it from here. We could be doing it from, I don't know, we could be doing it from here, right? We could be doing it from here. Like, we have a lot of options, and that at the moment we're just not taking any of them. And that just means that if Ash were to peek us, well, then we don't have anything to hide behind.
The payload. ده هيكون مؤلم.
Okay.
I will... It's
So there, we kind of forgot about our Reinhardt a little bit. So we're looking at the Ash. Reinhardt dies. Okay, that's a pretty fast death. You know, we won't spend too much time on that.
I will keep you healed.
Okay, once again, kind of a wasted nade. You can count. I mean, I don't want to spend too much more time on nade. Just know there's something that needs a lot of work. But you can just go through and see how many of our nades actually not only like just how frequently we've thrown them, not only have we, have a lot of them missed, right? Not only have a lot of them been thrown when they weren't really needed, and then even the ones that do land, a lot of them are just kind of okay nades, right? We'll hit one anti, right? One healing when we could be getting so much more value. So out of 10 nades that we throw, so far it's been looking like, okay, out of 10 nades that we throw, 4 of them miss completely. 4 of them are used, or maybe 5 of them miss completely. 4 of them, or 3 of them, I don't know, 3 of them are used kind of when they're not needed, right? And then 2 of them are actually landing, and then, but it's only 1 person. You can edit those numbers a little bit. It's kind of off the top of my head. You know, give or take here or there, right? Maybe you can say 3 of them we land and do something. It's just that you can see that there's a lot of value that we could be getting if we're just putting a little bit more effort in how we're using them.
Oh, you
Night
look
sleeps
tired.
have been great so far though. So not a whole lot of problems with sleep.
Oh,
Very nice
you
sleep.
look tired.
Get in here.
Help me. This will help.
Got confused by the trap for a second.
I will keep you healed. You're powered up. Get in there.
So, couple things with the nano. In this circumstance, really, I think that sorry, main thing we'll say with the nano. So Reinhardt's not a bad target here. Now let's see.
I will keep you healed. You're
Okay,
powered up.
at the
Get in
time of
there.
nano boost, how far away is he from the nearest person?
Pretty far. I think Ash is the closest.
Yeah. And how long is it going to take him, roughly speaking, to actually catch up to Ash?
Not long.
Not long. I would say the entire duration of his nano boost. Let's watch through it. Let's see if he catches up.
Hey, feet. Go.
Here it comes.
Entire duration of nano boost. Right, there we go.
You're right. Okay.
Reinhardt does not have a faster movement speed than other characters, so if he's chasing after an Ashe, and Ashe turns around and runs away, unless he lands a great charge, he's not going to be able to catch up. So when you're using your nano, you want to make, especially on close range characters, you want to make sure they're actually close range, that they're actually on top of people, right? Otherwise, you're either wasting the whole ultimate, or even just like even precious seconds of the ultimate can even just be just as bad, right? If Reinhardt is like 5 meters away and you're wasting 2 seconds off of it, well then that's, I would still be commenting on it. But we end up doing it when they're, 10 meters away, 11 meters away, and in that circumstance, it just means that it doesn't do anything. So
Mhm.
wait for your whoever you're nanoing to get in closer before you're actually nanoing them.
Okay.
Junk's on our head.
This will only hurt for a minute.
For reference with your nades, the proper combo when it comes to nades is shoot, nade, shoot. It's just the best kind of bang for your buck in terms of animation cancels. So really just, very, very minor thing. Don't focus in on that whatsoever. I'm just commenting when you going for nade, shoot, and then nade immediately, and then that kind of animation cancels it.
This will only hurt for a minute.
Girl.
Over. Get
Fire in the hole.
Get healed. في الامتحان يكرم المرء أو يهان.
Right. So firstly, run away from your teammates. Secondly, cover, right? Get around the corner. Make sure you're looking for cover. Don't just run. Don't just run in terms of
Aimlessly.
aimlessly, right? Don't try to just get as far away as you can. Look to get to something that can save you.
Rendezvous at my position. Watching your back.
Burst activated.
Ladies and
وريهم
gentlemen.
60
قوتك.
seconds remaining.
All right. A little bit of a predicament at the moment. So this kind of gets started when we're not really following, right? You can see that your entire team is coming high ground, right? High ground, 4 people going high ground, and we're kind of just chilling on the low ground, right? And Reiner was going high ground, 5 seconds ago, and we probably could have been walking up behind him. Like, you were right on top of these guys, and these guys are already up here, right? So This is a little bit of awareness, right, of where are they going. Because now we're like, where the heck? How do we get to him? So stick with your team, because you can't do anything. Notice how you just can't do anything at all at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're a healer. Stay with your team. As of the moment, what is the status of this fight?
It's lost.
Yeah.
Oh,
Or
right now.
yeah.
Oh. We lost our Reinhardt, so
Yeah, sorry.
still kind of even.
Still kind of even. I don't know how Junkrat survived that long. Now at this point, that's probably lost. I don't know. Junkrat was kind of in the middle of the team, so that can be maybe like a little bit of an assumed death. Which we don't have to go too much into the advanced side of it, but if you see that he's like inside of their team, of 4 people, you can kind of assume, okay, he's gonna die. Now it's a 3v5. They have closer spawn, or I guess they have even-ish spawns. So as of the moment, at this point, it's probably a lost fight.
30 seconds remaining.
Now we do get some respawns. Nice sleep. They wake him up immediately. That's wonderful. Oh, we'll see.
You're going to be okay.
Alright. So here let's rewatch that,
You're
right?
going to be okay.
So we get dynamited, right? Ash is currently above us. If we're listening and whatnot, we can hear that. Right? We run and get around this corner. What does getting around this corner do for us currently?
I guess just gives us cover right now.
Okay.
So yeah, that's about
Cover.
it.
What does cover do?
Um, just help us not take damage.
Yeah. Okay. In this situation, who's damaging us?
Nobody.
Nobody. Okay. So what is using cover do in this situation?
I guess I was just trying to wait for like the dynamite to run out, the burning.
Yeah. So in this circumstance, the answer is probably not a whole lot because
Not
nobody's
a lot.
currently actually looking at us. Nobody's looking at us. Nobody's shooting at us. Therefore, we're not in danger and we don't need cover, right?
Okay.
We want to be next to it, but we don't need to be behind it. And what is something that we're like really, really close to getting at the moment?
Nano.
Nano. Okay. Now, who's somebody who is really in need of nano at the moment?
Reinhardt.
Who's somebody also who's really in need of healing at the moment?
Oh, Reinhardt.
Right. Okay. So what can't we do while we're around the corner?
Heal or get nano.
Exactly. All right. So
No, you're right. I got you.
so in this circumstance, right, we kind of back out around the corner when we could be keeping Reinhardt in the fight, getting a nano boost out, really having a decent bit of an impact, right? And this isn't at this point we have to fight this fight, but it's if we get that nano boost off, well, it's a 1-2-3-4 versus a 1-2-3. We have nano boost going. We have 2 people walking back from spawn who will be here, around the time Junkrat. This is actually, if we get that nano boost off, this isn't looking too shabby. This is looking like a decently winnable fight, right? Not the best fight in the world, but as soon as Reinhardt dies, this is lost. There's no chance. Bastion's not going to survive up against 4 people shooting at him. So in this situation, we with that one decision, and sometimes it's scary to think you have that much power, but with one single decision, this can mean the difference between a lost fight and a potentially winnable fight or an even fight. And that came from two seconds of running around the corner.
This will help. Well, Leo's with it.
Okay, so a couple tiny things here. We run it firstly with Bastion's contesting. No reason for you to sprint into the danger yourself and run onto cart. We also kind of look at the floor here. So I think maybe we thought we had nade. That's potentially the thing there. Question: do you care? Are you wanting us to use some remaining time to go over Baptiste?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. No, we won't have too much because we have to do the last 8 minutes. We're gonna be doing quick review, wrap up, and the main points as well.
Okay.
Oh, wrong place. Where am I going?
I will prove.
Traveling to Dorado. Ready for battle.
2.
Let's hustle. Check this out.
Get in here.
All right, Reinhardt blew up very fast, and that's because they have a bastion. Alrighty.
Get in here.
Get in the immortality field. Come on.
Okay. What were we? So in that situation, typically when you die, there's 4 main causes of death. So we don't have to go too involved and in depth and on deaths because you're not dying an insane amount. But when you do die, there's 4 main causes. There's poor positioning, a lack of awareness, a misuse of abilities, such as if we like didn't use immortality,
Mm.
and then there is also over aggression, such as you sprint into their team, and then you could also have a couple other minor things as well. So in this circumstance, when we die, why do you think it is we die?
I guess poor positioning and misuse of the immortality field.
Come
Yeah.
on.
Immortality, I think that like honestly, that's very acceptable. It was just a hair behind the Reinhardt. So I wouldn't chalk that. I'd chalk that up to like just a half a second reaction time, like being off on that versus it being a misuse. And then the main thing, yes, you got right, was poor positioning, right? Like look at where we are, where we have nothing. But if we're right here, okay, well then now nobody can see us, right? And we can't get shot, we don't die, and then we get a lot more value.
It's not over.
I am injured.
Get in here.
Okay, so immortality.
I am injured.
Okay, same thing as we were discussing previously with your with Nade, except for this time healing doesn't I mean like health doesn't really come into play, but immortality is needed when people are in danger, right? And health does affect danger level, but it is not indicative of it. So Reinhardt, because he is low, he is definitely in more danger, but it does not always mean that somebody's in danger. So here, for example, you can be thinking, okay, well, yes, Reinhardt is, low HP, but we also can heal him, and he has a shield, and nobody's around his shield, and his shield has 1300 HP, and he's backing up towards the team, and he has a decent. He's almost around the corner to get away from people. So we can be thinking through all these different things, and we can go, okay, maybe immortality isn't actually needed because we can actually watch through, and does Reinhardt ever dip below that go into that death threshold? Well, no. By the time immortality goes down, he's actually higher HP. He never dips low. So that just goes to show that didn't really do a ton. Also, when you do throw it, make sure we're throwing it actually behind a Reinhardt. Make sure we're throwing it around the corner. So, for example, if you throw it right here, well, the same principles of cover apply. They cannot see it, it stays up longer. You throw it into the open, it goes down immediately, which is what happens here. All that makes sense?
Yeah, it does. I've noticed my immortality fields. They don't go up. They don't stay up that long. I'm like,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Same thing. Cover with it. Just out of curiosity to see, like, as a quick trivia, what is the difference between shooting the ground and shooting at people with
I
healing?
I just learned about this a couple
Yeah.
days ago. You shoot the player, it feels more than shooting the ground. I
Okay.
think I didn't know about this before this game.
All
Now I
right.
know.
There you go. Well, already that's gonna be helpful. So now you know, shoot at people because then you get extra healing, right? Because I'm noticing a decent bit of like ground shooting.
Hmm.
Now that wasn't always a thing. That's actually something they added. I don't know, around a year ago.
Don't worry, time is starting to play.
sterben nicht.
Keep it moving.
Ooh, we're actually really good reaction time, man. That was great. Maybe we're actually trying to throw it as Zarya. I don't actually know in that second. Either way, that was good. Either way, great immortality. Zarya goes down. Okay. Honestly, not a ton, I would say here. We're forced to reload, we miss a shot. Maybe, I haven't seen us use jump boots yet. You could maybe have jumped over Shatter. Jumping over Shatter means that you can help more in that circumstance. This is getting a little bit advanced. I wouldn't say too much you did wrong there.
Let them out.
Uh-oh. What's an issue with that one?
I front line.
Well, yeah, okay, you
Oh,
walk a
only
little for
yeah, no, my
immortality.
ult.
Mhm.
My ult.
So with the placement was maybe an issue with that one.
Yes. Like I should have brought it back so my team can use it more effectively.
Yeah, your team can't really shoot through it too effectively. Their team can. Well, Reinhardt's already in front of it, and then these two can just walk in front of it. And then who are they shooting at, right? Like, okay, there's nobody here to actually shoot at. So make sure you're putting it in front of your team, but also in front of the enemy team as well, right? You kind of want it in between your teams.
Regen up. Get in here.
Get in there.
My barrier is destroyed. Materialisms.
Okay, maybe not needed immortality. Let's see. I mean, we see Zarya's half. Reinhardt stops swinging. Zarya gets back to the team.
Get in here.
Probably more important to use it for an ultimate. So just like the kind of in danger versus the everybody is definitely in danger. Sort of nature of that. Okay, now we do a beat. That's good.
Escorting the payload.
All better.
Horns of Crusaders. Down.
Helden sterben nicht.
Enemy contact. That's not right. Healing boost.
Okay. Make sure that when healing is not needed, that you are actually doing other things. Because as of the moment, we're not actually, I would say the main thing is we're not actually shooting too much. We're doing a lot of heal. We're at the moment probably about like, I don't know, 85%-ish or so healing and then 15% damage or something along those lines. Whereas you should probably be more like, depending on the circumstance, depending on the map, on Baptiste you're gonna be maybe more like 40 to 60, 40% damage, 60% healing, roughly speaking. Like I said, it can depend. Here in this game, actually, it looks like your team needs a lot of healing, so maybe it'd be more like 30, 70. But I'd say we're just a little bit too much healing, a little bit too less damage. When people aren't in need of healing, we'll just kind of stare at them rather than going and actually doing something. So make sure you're going and shooting or reloading or, really anything else, right? Using an ability, going and looking at, what's happening at our surroundings, going and repositioning, things like that.
Okay.
Group up with me.
There's no glory in a stalled payload.
Let's get you healed up.
You all look like.
So like you can just for example, just notice like this whole time out, we're just kind of waddling around and we, nobody needs healing, but we could be shooting, right? Not shooting. Okay, shoot, not shooting, not shooting, not shooting.
You all look
Okay,
like
kind
you
of
needed
trailing
some
behind
healing.
your team pretty far.
Immortality
Not
field
shooting,
destroyed.
kind of wandering around. This also gets a little bit into actions per minute, just making sure that you're constantly doing stuff rather than just kind of taking large breaks in time.
I need healing. Fire at will.
Dragon continue.
Payload's moving.
Get in there.
Oh,
60 seconds remaining.
tempo. Yeah, time to heal up. Got you good as new.
30 seconds remaining.
Amplification matrix ready.
We are out of time. Attack!
Yeah, let's move it, people. Get in here. Oh, let's break it.
Civilization sinkt for mine.
Good job, team. Let's keep it
The
going.
payload has reached the checkpoint.
You're fully healed.
Get
Pass into the iris.
Okay. I'm noticing that I don't think we have yet to once use our exo boots at all. Definitely recommend it. There's a lot of circumstances where that can come into be very much helpful. Such as to negate damage, to get away from people who are trying to get on top of you, to, big one, take high grounds. High grounds are fantastic. You actually haven't been taking too many high grounds. High grounds, as we discussed before, act as off angles. They also act as, the whole thing acts as natural cover, right? So if they are below us here and, they can see us, now they can't, right? We crouch, kind of same thing. Right, the whole thing acts as natural cover depending on which high ground you're using, right? Like this one might not as much if they're all the way over there, but most of them will have a lot of natural cover to them. Additionally, we have a ton of visibility. Note like the difference in visibility from like where you are down there to like up here where you can see all of high ground. You can see here, here. You walk a couple inches this way, or you can see all of this point. But you're down here and now, okay, well, we can't see high ground. We can't see that side. We can't see this side. We can only see directly what's in front of us. So there's a lot of advantages that come with taking high grounds, and we haven't really ever used our boots at all. So I recommend taking them or using it.
My ultimate is ready.
Oh,
Okay.
this is my jam.
Let them up.
Get you healed up.
Okay, it's pretty good timing. Though, yeah, that's. I like the thought behind it. May want to wait till like they've like more committed to
Let
the
them
fight,
up.
like they're closer. Because notice how they're able to back up pretty fast. They're able to get around the corner. And then it doesn't do as much. It isolates Zen. Zen's dead. But you want to use it when they really can't run away. That's the best time to use it. So when they don't have any cover at all. So for example, if we were to use it right here on this corner, where are they gonna go? Okay, they're gonna go over here. Well, now like they have to run all the way over here. It's just a really long trek to make. So just think about like how far away are they from cover, and that's when you want to be using your ultimate.
How about a little extra heat?
Okay, that's an example maybe of where when you can be using executes Reapers on top of you.
Yeah, instead of wasting immortality, I can just jump up the high ground. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Why did he die?
Soldier was on high ground.
Okay, well that's a quite. What was your impact in your death? So
What was my
yeah,
impact?
yes, soldier. Yes, soldier did shoot you, but what did you do to get you killed?
I was in what was it? Bad positioning.
Yep, for same thing, right? Like just we move away from cover out into the open. Soldier kills us, we have nowhere to run.
So probably back it into the chapel. That would probably be better.
Yep, I mean like now soldier can't see us whatsoever, right? These guys, can't really see us at all. So just using cover. Yep. Alrighty, so we are now going to do a quick review, go over the main points, and then wrap up from there. Alright, so ability
Hello there.
usage, put in the effort, right? Think them through. Sleep's honestly pretty fantastic.
Feeling
Nades,
sleepy?
scope check. Don't
The
try to
pain
people
is fine.
directly. Hit the floor in between as many people as possible. Wait for them to group up, right? Let them all group up together, then go for it. Look for more antis. Be more aggressive with it. Off angle, right? To get big nades. Watch out for all the obstacles that can get in the way. Teammates, abilities, ultimates. abilities, tanking abilities, and shields and whatnot. All that stuff can be a big hindrance. Overall, your ability usage on Ana probably went to like maybe a lower end of a medium-high priority for you to work on. Then, next, ult usage on Ana. Honestly, not too shabby. Couple I guess, never mind, correction on myself.
You should leave this to the experts.
Make sure that you are waiting for your, whoever you're nanoing to actually get close to people. If they're a short-range character, make sure you're not using it in any won or lost fights. And then overall, that probably put nano usage at around like I don't know, lower end of a medium for you to work on. Baptiste abilities,
No dying on my
shift, pay attention to the fact that it's a 10-meter radius, so that means from here to there is the range on it. Anything beyond that doesn't actually
Regen
heal
burst
people.
activated.
So keep that in mind. Besides that, all that was pretty good. Immortality usage, use cover with it, same as yourself. That extends the duration. Think about danger level of people so that you're actually using it when it's needed. Besides that, you also had pretty decent reaction times with when people needed it. You just want to identify that situation better so you know when not to waste it. Overall, the ability usage on BAP probably went to about a medium. Ult usage, make sure that you are just waiting for people to be on the open. Right. That's about it. Overall, that's probably like a low, higher end of a lower, low to medium, something like that. Somewhere within that range. Moving on to mechanics. Make sure that you're just reloading every chance you get. Whenever there's nothing else to do, reload. Baptiste, swap up your shoot ratios a little bit, right? Shoot left click a little bit more, right click a little bit less, right? Swap it up from like from your 85-15 to more like a 60-40 when it comes to left click versus right click. Other than that, I don't think we talked too much on mechanics. Mechanics probably about like I don't know, higher end of a low to medium. Then comes positioning. Positioning, use cover. Good positioning is the usage of cover. Bad positioning is the absence of cover. That got us killed a couple times, right? Make sure that you're taking high grounds. High grounds are fantastic. Right? Notice how exit boots can instantly get me there very easily.
That was satisfying.
Make sure that you're taking off angles. Baptiste, not too much of a reason to take off angles. Ana, nades are fantastic to land from off angles. So I'd go for off angles to land those, and then that gets you a lot of value. Overall, positioning probably goes to higher end of a medium, maybe a low end of a medium high. Between that, then you finally get to awareness. Pay attention to what's going on around you. Keep your ears open. Keep your eyes open. What's happening in kill feed, right? 1 to 2 is an advantage or disadvantage. 2 to 3 is a won or lost fight. Pay attention to the numbers because people often forget them. They'll come to the next session and say, how do you tell? And they're like, something with kill feed, right? So once again, to reiterate, I'll have this, I don't remember. Sorry, I'm cutting myself in half here. To reiterate, 1 to 2 is advantage or disadvantage. 2 to 3 is a won or lost fight. Besides that, just pay attention to other general things, what's going on with your surroundings, danger levels of teammates, health bars, that sort of thing. Overall awareness probably went to like higher end of a medium as well. So to put that all in order, it maybe differed slightly between BAP and Ana, not too much though. Number 1 probably went to let's do Ana first. With Ana, number 1 went to ability usage. Number 2 was your number 2 is probably your positioning. 3 awareness. 4 is going to be your mechanic. Ult usage and then mechanics is 5. Then over on Baptiste, swaps up a little bit. Number 1 is probably your going to be your awareness, quite honestly. Then number 2 is your positioning. 3 is your ability usage. 4 is your mechanics. 5 is your ultimate usage. So it swaps it up quite a bit. Do you have any questions?
That was satisfying.
I guess just like when to use each hero, because at times I feel like certain comps dictate like if I want to go back, want to go on at certain
Yes.
points. Like
Double
say if like, well, good.
Have you
Yeah,
considered a
so
different line of
if
work?
you're talking specifically between BAP and Ana, right? Both of the, so in the game there are 3 main I'm gonna do a fast explanation. We don't have too much time to go through all of it. Fast explanation. There are 3 main compositions in the game: spam, dive, and brawl. Those are your 3 main comps. So all other comps are iterations of the 3, or it's a hybrid where it's kind of in the middle or not really too much of anything. Baptiste, any character's good in, and good in multiple or, varying levels has varying levels of effectiveness in each. Baptiste is really good in a brawl and really good in a spam, but is honestly a little, terrible and is a very bad pick in a dive, right? When he's working with a dive. Then Ana, on the other hand, is
Never
very
stop
flexible,
fighting for
but
what you believe
is
in.
very good with a dive and very good with a brawl, but it's kind of okay with a spam. So if you might have
The
noticed a
syllable.
little bit like of an overlap and a little bit of a difference. Ana and Bap are both really good in a brawl, so it's kind of either or there. But when it comes to spam versus dive, you probably want to pick an Ana with a dive and then Bap with a spam. And then just to clarify, do you know what characters make up those 3 comps?
Double
I'm
kill.
guessing spam you mean by Orisa and Roadhogs, and like brawl you mean Zarya Ryan.
Yeah, spam is long-range characters, brawl is close-range
Experience
characters to keep
always
it very
wins
simple.
in the end.
Gotcha.
Alright, any other questions?
I think that's it. Just like the 1 to 5, that was just like priorities of like what to focus on in like
It's quiet.
future games to improve.
Yeah, I mean that's what the 1 through 5, that's why I was going through the main points and like, giving you those things to work on and kind of the order to work on them. I'd recommend work on like 1 category of things at a time or 1 to 3 smaller things within a category.
Okay.
Okay, so that is about it. 1 second, I'm taking a look. Okay, so I'm gonna give you